Sleepers. Guys that we didn't mention here. I got Jordan Hancock on my list just because we didn't talk about those nickel defenders. Nico Reed's kind of the same thing. Nico is one of those players who I think he's just a lot smaller measurements, didn't even get invited to the combine, but he played outside corner. I love his patience. I love how calm and confident he is. Doesn't have the elite athleticism despite being smaller, so he's not a top-tier athlete despite not having the size. So it's why he's going to be a day 3 dude, but as a backup nickel defender, I actually kind of like that. So I already mentioned those two names. Those were 2 of the 3 that I wanted to talk about there as those nickel defenders, but somebody to watch out for as priority day 3 type of players. But is there anybody else that you had already mentioned or somebody else that you want to talk about here?
I could just go through all 3 real quick. 2 of them we've mentioned already. Billy Bowman was one I was going to bring up because I don't know what to do with him as far as rankings. You mentioned that the safety nickel hybrid thing or whatever he's going to play there, but also he's both the most entertaining football player of this group because any play that he's on the field could be a touchdown one way or the other. And he stresses me out. I guess that's the best way I can put it. Billy Bowman stresses me out because at any point, any play could be a pick six. But he's also not a great tackler. He's not all that physical. But I also feel like if you told me there was some random year where Billy Bowman led the league in interceptions, I would not be that shocked. He just has this crazy, aggressive nose for the football, and they're not built the same. They don't have the same background as when they were in college. But it's that C.J. Gardner-Johnson thing where it's like he doesn't grade all that high until this year. He actually set a career high in 24, but he's always around the football and something's always happening. So Billy Bowman's one guy. Noel Williams, who you brought up before, very good player in press, led college football with 7 interceptions this year. 78.9 coverage grade in press coverage while playing the second most press snaps in the country this year. And then my third guy, you talked about one, undersized, really fiery, competitive guy in Nico Reed. I got one for you. I know it's a guy you love from Kansas, Kobe Bryant.
Baby.
13 career interceptions, 18 pass breakups. Over the last 2 years, he has the highest run defense grade of any corner in the country.
It's crazy.
92.9 run defense grade to go with an 82.3 coverage grade, which was solid. Him and Mello Dotson down there at Kansas shutting things down. But Kobe Bryant is another guy. The competitiveness just jumps off the tape. I mean, it's crazy. He's not the most technically sound guy. Needs to be a little more refined, and that's in part because he's just got so much swagger and he just plays with so much fire, right? And that's a guy you just want in your locker room. Maybe he's a depth piece. Maybe he's a third or fourth corner and a special teamer, but man, oh man, he's one of those guys who's just so fire, and he's got that short memory that every play he plays like it's his last. And I think somewhere probably in the 4th round, Kobe Bryant's going to get drafted.
I am with you, man. The 2 of those guys in that list, guys that I can't quit, are Billy Bowman Jr. and Kobe Bryant. I won't. They could play on my football team. They could be day 3 guys for me, and I'll find a spot for them just because I want them on the roster. I really do. The last guy that I'll bring up sort of as a sleeper, shout out EJ Schneider from Bootleg Football. He told me about this player, and he's like, hey, you got to get him on the PFF big board a couple of days ago, and so I watched him for the full report. He actually did get invited to the combine, but I didn't have him on here. Za Frazier from UTSA. Now, this is another dude, super long corner, very athletic, just very intriguing. 6'3", 185 pounds, so he's tall and he's lean. 32 and 7/8 inch arms. That's 91st percentile for the position. When you look at what he did at the combine, okay, so again, 6'3", 185, really long arms. 4.36 40-yard dash, 36.5-inch vert, 10.6 broad jump. So this dude is a true athlete for the position. He's got great length to him as well. 0-star cornerback from Cedartown, Georgia. When he was coming out of high school, he also played basketball and he ran track. He redshirted at Southern Illinois his first year in 2019, so he's a 6th-year guy. Then he played at a JUCO at Coffeyville Community College in Kansas. And then he has been at UTSA since. He was able to start this past year. Obviously, really impressive length, size, explosiveness for the position. Looks out of control, looks off balance at times. The refinement is not there. He's going to be a day 3 player, but not that I want to compare everybody to Tariq Woolen, but same program, same thing. He's just very raw. He was just very raw coming into this draft, and he will be coming into the NFL, but he's somebody that when you have that kind of length, when you have that kind of speed, teams are going to take chances on you. He's going to get drafted in like the 5th round. He's invited to the combine for a reason. So, yeah, Just wanted to shout him out there.
Yeah.
Have you watched him at all? Because I just watched him for the first time like a couple days ago.
I did as well, and I think that's the first thought that comes to my mind is where does UTSA find these freaks that can play corner at that size and that speed? I'm just like, how does nobody else find these guys? But no, you mentioned it. I mean, the raw tools are ridiculous. And am I right? Wasn't Tariq Woolen a 5th-round pick himself?
He was indeed.
I mean, you're talking about a guy. This is the type of build, and these are the types of athletes that you take chances on day 3. And I think about the same guy that drafted Tariq Woolen, Pete Carroll. That team needs a lot of help in the secondary. Why wouldn't the Raiders take a chance in the 5th or even 6th round if he were to fall that 4? That sounds like the exact same thing he did in Seattle. He could just take it over to Vegas and just have the same parallels and see where he could go with it. So, no, Frazier's got talent, and he's got freaky athletic traits. You mentioned it. The refinement's got to get there. He's a little bit upright in his back pedal, and it's just the other thing, too, for me is ball tracking's a little bit weird sometimes. Sometimes it's great, and you can see him.
He's just out of control.
Yeah,
he's so out of control. Like his whole game is just out of control right now.
Yeah, it's just a guy who knows he has tools, and that's all he's using. So with the right coaching, I mean, just like Woolen, he could be a freaking a really good player in the league. It's just going to take a good amount of development, getting to the right system. And again, I think about Pete Carroll in Vegas. I go ahead and just do it again. Take another freak from the same program and just do it again. Sure.
Quentin in the chat was looking for us to talk about Kobe Bryant. Then he talked about him like 30 seconds afterwards. So that was fun to see his reaction there in the chat. He's saying that he hopes Kobe Bryant gets drafted by the Broncos. He's a Broncos fan, and wants him opposite Patrick Surtain II, which is hilarious to me. Because I feel like Patrick Surtain is like sort of like a quiet assassin. I feel like he doesn't do a lot of trash talking. Kobe Bryant can do enough trash talking for the both of them if he were to be CB2 there on that team, or even just in the same cornerback room, in the same cornerback rotation. So